Team 7, number 6, written by Justin Jordan, art by like 4 different people: Pascal Alixe, Cliff Richards, Guy Balbi, and Juan Castro. So, last issue we had some weird AI office thing. Seemingly something went horribly wrong, and everyone was getting taken over by cybernetics. And there was Caitlin Fairchild, the daughter of Alex Fairchild, was like interning there or something. Also, there was this framing device of Deathstroke coming after the team. That's not present here. So, just, I don't know, remember that happened. So, Team 7, they're on their plane. They're making their way to the Advanced Prosthetic Research Center, which is where that was all taking place. And the pilot, I forget her name, Ramos, is just like, guys, there ain't nothing in the way. Like, we're just going to make a nice, easy landing and walk in, no problem. There's no problems here at all. And Deathstroke is talking to Fairchild, being like, hey man, your daughter's in there, you cool? And he's like, no, I'm not cool, this sucks. I'm just mentally preparing for whatever might be in there. And they make the remark that Bronson has not joined them because he basically didn't pick up his phone in time and they have to go in without him. So Ramos is like, all right, we're coming in for a smooth and steady and then she's attacked by a cyborg that just busts in through the window, and she's bloodied up immediately, and they're like, okay, we're coming in hard, brace for impact. So the cyborgs are coming in, they're fighting up against it, plane crashes, and everyone's managed to survive except for Ramos. And Waller comes up being like, oh, stay with me, Ramos, and she's like, you're not the boss of me. And so she dies. And apparently this is the first person that Waller's ever lost in the field, and Slade Wilson is just like, well, get used to it because I have a feeling a lot more people are going to be dying before the end of this mission. So, and they look outside and they see just an army of cybernetic people, and they're all saying the same thing: Caitlin, help me. And Fairchild is not okay with this, considering that Caitlin is his kid. And he's like, all right, well, whatever, let's make our way in. So they start blasting, they make their way to the door, and basically bottleneck them out through one of the exits until they're able to make it inside. And inside, they see just human entrails and body parts and machine parts all just thrown together. And it's just like, okay, nobody move, because we don't know what in here is active and what is not. And then Fairchild sees his daughter walking around the corner, and she's like, Daddy? And he's like, oh, it's my baby. I've got to go hug my child. And so he runs in, gives her a hug and saying, oh, I was so worried. I thought they got you. And then turns out Fairchild is also a cyborg. She stabs her father through the stomach, and everyone freaks out like, oh God, he's dead. Waller tries to hold back Wilson, and it's like, oh, you don't know what she's capable of. You got to stay back before we can get something. And he's like, nah, my friend just died. I'm going in. So Wilson starts chasing down Fairchild as she starts running, and Grifter is told to follow suit. So they end up having a fight scene, Wilson and Fairchild. The only thing she can say is daddy over and over again. And so as Wilson gets the upper hand, rips off her arms, she looks up at him and says, daddy? And he's like, nope. Boom, shoots her in the head. And the rest of the team's like, all right, well, that was messed up. Anyway, is anyone else feeling this is like too easy? It feels like they're leading us away from something. And Waller looks into the schematics and says, oh, you're right, this is a distraction. We should be going the other way because the other way is. And then in walks a giant behemoth of flesh and technological parts. And turns out it's Dr. Henshaw, Hank Henshaw. He still has his mind, though. And he's like, hi, they were leading you away from me. I'm Dr. Henshaw. I was the lead geneticist here. We had a thing called the Spartan Subject. Kind of got away from us and did all of this. I managed to protect my own consciousness due to some safety protocols we have in place, but it's fighting. Oh boy, it's trying to get in right now. So, yeah, it was just waiting for the arrival of its primary command. And everyone's like, what do you mean primary command? What's up? And he's like, oh, well, the Spartan was waiting for you, Team 7. And turns out that they didn't even want all of Team 7. They wanted just Bronson. And Spartan got tired of waiting for Team 7 to show up, so it went out on its own, and it tracked down Bronson. And the team's like, crap, how far away is Bronson, and what's he doing right now? Turns out that Bronson is pretty far away, but he's having a nice family dinner, and he's like, hey, guys, my phone's blowing up. I really should get going. And they're like, oh, hush, you're going to have dinner at the very least. And his grandmother or whatever, his mother walks out of the room, walks in the kitchen, and sees one of the cybernetic freaks there. and she freaks out. Bronson jumps up into action, and the cybernetic thing says initiating core transfer to primary, and seemingly does a massive explosion that just takes out the entire apartment. But then he follows up with meta activated, and it turns out that Bronson seems to be a meta that now has his mental stuff overwritten from this Spartan subject. So now he's no longer Bronson. He is whatever this new superhero, supervillain thing is. So interesting. And at the end of last issue, we had Deathstroke and Lynch talking, and they said something along the lines of, oh no, he's still alive. So I'm willing to put money on the fact that that's Bronson, who will be coming back. So we'll see how that happens. Overall, it's a fine issue. It managed to follow it pretty well. I do like that this is the first time that, there are casualties. People die. And I think that's mostly due to the fact that at this point, we know this comic is getting canceled. It's only going to issue 7, so yeah. It's, or maybe it's issue 8. I could be wrong. I genuinely can't remember what this one gets canceled at. Issue 8. So yeah, it's got 2 more issues in it. And yeah, I like the fact that they're going out at least with a bang. They've set up this thing of, okay, there's this other beast going on. It's crossing over into Deathstroke's book mildly. It's a whole big thing. I enjoy that. My only criticism here is the fact that Team 7 leading up to this book felt like such a big, huge deal that we were doing all this tie-in stuff. Like, oh, you remember your Team 7 days. And it's like, all right, if this is all we were going to end up getting out of it, it kind of seems like a waste. But I understand that's not the writer's fault. That's editorials. So what are you going to do? All in all, it's, I don't want to say 7, but I did enjoy swaths of it. So I think I am actually going to give it just the flat 7. I think this issue, it did a fine enough job of setting up, these characters, the threat at hand. The only thing that I have any major hang up about is that Bronson seems to be this whole big thing now, but I mean, out of the original cast, him and I think it was Higgins are the only ones that I had zero recollection of. So could have done a little bit better of getting the other characters more star power instead of just focusing on Deathstroke, but hey, too little too late.